don't know about y'all, but when I see new Pax Day content drop, I get the chills. What is up, guys? I am Pretty Dirty, and today in this video, we are getting down and dirty with Pax Day. These down and dirty videos are short, straight, and to the point, minimal fluff, and just everything you need to know. Pax Day is a sandbox MMO being developed on Unreal Engine 5 by Mainframe Industries. With the official announcement happening only a month or so ago at the time of this video, there are tons of questions. Some have been answered, some have not. The game is still in its early development phase, so not everything is known yet. In this video, we're going to talk specifically about the building element of Pax Day. In the official Discord, building has been getting discussed heavily since they opened an entire FAQ section dedicated just for this topic, as well as dropping a few short clips on their YouTube channel, which you will be seeing in this video. I hope to answer as many questions as I can that you all may have, as well as share my thoughts on a few things that haven't been answered yet. Keep in mind, please, that the game still is in early development, so nothing said in this video is final or concrete and is subject to change and most likely will change. We're going to start with the basic stuff first. Building as of now can only be done in the Heartlands. That's what the world that you're in is called, is the Heartlands. The Heartlands is basically the safe place of Pax Day, and the wilderness is where all the PvP and the dungeons and stuff like that is going to take place. While the developers have said in the future they plan to have building inside of the PvP zone, it is not in the current build of Pax Day. Building requires a plot to begin. The devs have said the plot will be circular and vast enough to build a house of reasonable size and a couple of smaller structures. So if you want a house and maybe your crafting studio, wherever you're going to do all your trades or whatever, maybe an inn for people to come stay at, I have no idea. This game is honestly, it seems like there's so much that you're gonna be able to do. Where you place your plot, from what I've seen, is pretty open. You can, of course, have the lakefront property that everyone desires, but you can also have the seclusive Mountain Ridge Manor, you know, up on the hills, so everyone down low is staring up on you like some sort of holy god. The main thing is that you cannot block roads, and the buildings do require some sort of structural integrity, so they have to actually make sense. No infinitely tall skyscrapers or just crazy wacky shaped buildings. Building on water, though, is possible as long as the bottom is close to the surface. Like most sandbox games, you will have foundation pieces, so I'm guessing as long as the foundation pieces are taller than the lake is deep, you should be fine. Being on water, of course, means that bridges in some cases will be able to be built. You won't have bridges spanning across entire lakes, but you could probably have a bridge crossing like a little one to the front of your house. Within Pax Day is a clan or guild system, so members of the same clan can actually connect plots and utilize each other's plots, allowing for bigger structures and the ability to utilize larger pieces of land. Now we're talking castles and full-blown cities. I do want to say at any point in this video, if you have a question, please leave in the comments and I will do my best to answer it for you. Now that we've got the basics out of the way, we're going to dive into a topic that I think most sandbox games deal with, which is griefers. Now you're probably wondering, so what if someone takes their plot and places it right next to my plot? You know, what do I do? How do I get them out? As of now, there isn't anything in the game that really forces someone to move. You're going to have to use your diplomatic skills and convince them to either leave or join you. While this doesn't sound too promising, it is said that Pax Day relies heavily on cooperation, so anyone that does this will have an extremely hard time playing. There's really no incentives to be doing this, and you're actually going to get punished for it. But we all know that assholes exist, and people are going to block clans and individuals just to be annoying. I personally think that if Pax Day is going down the route of extreme immersion, griefers is going to be the one thing that kind of ruins that for a lot of people, so they have to get this under control early. At the same point, you can't just deny someone the ability to build wherever they want simply because they wish to play solo. In the same FAQ, the question was asked again, but a somewhat different answer was given, that our players have the ability to resolve these conflicts. Our team has extensive experience working on multiple MMOs, and we are well versed in the challenges that players can face. So this is something we'll have to just kind of wait and see and hope that Mainframe Industries finds a secret recipe for preventing griefing from happening. So while griefers are going to try and ruin your day, what about those good Samaritans that actually wish to help you? As we've said, cooperation is going to be a massive aspect of Pax Day. You are able to grant access to your plot to allow those that you trust to help you construct whatever it is you're trying to build. So if you have a group of friends, inform your clan, you can combine your plots, grant each other access, and then while you're asleep or your friend's asleep, work can still be done on the plots in whatever little town that you're building. Also, there will be permissions to grant access to specific materials, so probably chests or storage units of some sort. So not everyone will be able to access your storages, only certain people that you select. What you choose to specialize your character in within Pax Day is completely up to you. I really see people going full RP and and building, you know, like I said, big taverns and shops where people can rest and stock up before they go into their wilderness and complete their PvP. I'm really hoping that you can kind of have your own economy, you know? So if someone comes to your town, they're giving you currency in exchange for goods, and there's not like some global auction house that we're just all gonna go pile up out front of and then pull all these items from the ether. I would really like to be responsible for my storages. And if I decide to run a tavern, you know, keeping my inventory up, and you know, as times change, I can take things out of the inventory, put new things up as the market's influxing or supply and demand for new goods is going up and down. I think that would be super fun. And then so as my tavern becomes more successful, therefore I become more successful, and maybe even paying people to come assist me with the tavern. I don't know. I see this game going so many different ways. The benefits for traveling to other people's settlements isn't really known yet, but I imagine the main reasons are going to be trade and diplomacy and building those relationships out with your neighbors. The developers haven't gone into absolute specifics about all the permissions that we were just talking about, but their goal is to make it very flexible, and you basically have the ability to do almost anything you want with them. Again, like most sandbox games, I imagine you have to go out and gather resources like wood or stone, pelts, whatever it is. And with how much it is being stressed that you can basically specialize in anything, you'll most likely be leveling up some sort of wood cutting or skinning or even a building skill while doing all this stuff with your friends and building on your plot. Stats and skills haven't been discussed really at all, except for that there aren't specific classes or even a global character level, just skills. So I'm thinking kind of like New World, where everybody can do everything, or you can do nothing. But I imagine if you do nothing, you're gonna be almost useless to everybody. So while this is about building, an important part of building is taking things down, or even if you choose to move, and then also plot decay. So say you're not playing the game for months, so we're gonna talk about that. It is almost a guarantee that you're gonna choose to move at some point. While it isn't said how much of your materials are going to get back when tearing down, they did say they want it to be fairly forgiving. In my eyes, I want to see at least a 75% return if I'm taking things down. Knowing you'll be far behind if you choose to move, I think would prevent people overall from making that choice, and either would have a bad time being stuck at where they're at, or they just wouldn't play the game altogether. I think of it kind of like respecing in an MMO. Some games choose to make it very expensive to swap the different builds, and that does nothing positive. It just makes it a pain in the ass, and then it doesn't really make me want to play. A question was asked that what if someone is in your clan and is responsible for, let's say, the kitchen in the castle? If that person chose to leave, would that part of the castle stay or disappear? And all that was really said on this is that they're aware and they're developing mechanisms to solve it. They didn't say how or what, but they do know it's going to be a problem, and it's something that could arise, and they are working on something to fix it. So that's always nice to hear. If you choose to leave, where does your furniture and decorations go? They do plan to let you keep it, and systems are going to be put into place to make this a lot easier. You will have to carry it from where you are currently living to where you want to go. Now, let's talk about plot decay a little bit. It's only briefly talked about, and there's only a few things to really nail here. But there will be a period where your plot would disappear if you were inactive. We don't know the time period, but they do know that's going to be a thing because they want to keep people's plots open that aren't there. You know, so if someone's been AFK from the game for like 6 months, obviously they want to open up that plot to somebody else who wants it. But they don't want to make it impossible for, if you return to the game, now where does all your stuff go? Did you lose it? Do you have to start over? They want to make it quick and easy to set up a new one if you choose to return to the game. And also the abandoned plots. So if someone does leave and the plots become truly abandoned, everything in there is lootable. It's up for grabs, but you're not going to be able to just claim their building. So the structures, I imagine, will disappear or over time. Now, for all the super decorative folk, it seems like there's going to be plenty of furniture and decorations to craft with all sorts of different textures and colors. So if you really want your furniture and the look of your town to match the clan or the crest of your clan, the colors of your clan, you should be able to do that. Some of these decorative items are actually going to have some uses, but I imagine a lot of them are going to be purely decorative. Something I do want to talk about here is that you may have noticed if you're watching is that there are no doors, you know, anywhere. The current build actually doesn't have any doors or signs. Hodor would be pleased with this.
Udo.
All that said is the current build doesn't have any doors or signs, but they want them as much as we do. I think that would just be a horrendous flaw if this game launched with no doors or signs. And I'll be honest, that about sums it up. Building in Pax Dei is going to be a huge part of the immersion of the game and just the entire game altogether. It's important that the systems in place are smooth and you're able to easily control them. I would really hate to see poor building mechanics implemented in this game. So I do really want them to take their time and nail this down and make sure that it is in a good spot at launch. I think nothing would be worse than having a beautiful home, but it feeling completely empty inside, or it was just a nightmare to build it in the first place. I do really hope I answered some of your questions and everyone learned a little bit more about Pax Day. I hope you guys are excited. I'm super excited. I am just begging for it to be a success. And with that, thank you all for watching. Stay dirty, and I will see you in the next one.